What's poppin', people? Are we back? Are we so back? I think we're back, guys. It's so over. It's so over for the bad guys. It's so over for Satan gang. So we're back. We're back. Welcome back to Your Friendly Hood's Untitled Show. I hope you guys like the new intro. I hope you guys like the little new intro graphic. I was working on it right before we got into the show. We are so back that it's over. I mean, actually, yeah, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. We are so back that it's over. That's probably the best way to put it, because tonight we're honestly gonna be talking about some stuff that is just like plain upsetting. Like some stuff that'll just like really grind your gears, if you will. Grind your gears, yo. Bro. So, listen, man. I want to be like hyped, right? I want to be like hyped. I want to be like really happy. But the stories today that I want to tell you guys about are like deeply upsetting at like a fundamental level. And the reason for that is because what we're gonna see today throughout the stories that we're gonna be looking at, other than I guess the presidential election, which I guess isn't that blackpilling, is we're gonna see that like the average American is just totally okay, totally chill with murder. Like straight up murder. We're not talking about abortion, right? Some leftists will argue that like abortion is not murder. Abortion is just, you know, killing of a clump of cells, as it were. Like you're not a clump of cells. Like every murder is the killing of a clump of cells. But you know, I guess you know, somehow there's some kind of distinction there. But no, this is different. We're not talking about, you know, killing a clump of cells. We're talking about killing, like, living, breathing, heart beating, not inside of another person, outside of another person, human beings. And most people are just chill with that. So, the title of the stream, right? The title of the stream here is Legal Infanticide, right? And I don't mean that in the way that most Christians, when they refer to infanticide, mean infanticide, right? I'm not talking about like, you know, you go to the abortion clinic, you go to Planned Parenthood and they kill your baby, which that's what's happening there. But, and that's already legal infanticide. But I mean like straight up infanticide, like your baby's in the crib and it's now legal in Minnesota to kill your baby. I'm not joking. You guys are gonna see, man. So let's get into it. Let's jump right into the story. So this is out of Minnesota, coming from lifenews.com. It says, breaking: Minnesota legislator passes bill allowing infanticide, revoking care for babies who survive abortion. So in Minnesota, They just passed a law. They just passed a law a couple days ago that allows you to kill babies if the mother intended for that baby to be aborted, but it just, managed to not get aborted somehow. So let's read this, man. Today, the Minnesota legislature approved an omnibus health bill that repeals a bipartisan measure protecting newborns and a bipartisan program supporting pregnant women who want to carry their babies to full term. It also rescinds a number of long-standing laws surrounding abortion. Governor Tim Walz is expected to sign the wide-ranging bill, which the House and Senate passed along narrow party lines, into law. So, we go through this, and this legislator is funding the abortion industry while defunding alternatives to abortion. They are depriving born-alive infants the right to life-saving care while shielding such cases from the public. This is not what Minnesotans want. What is this doing? So basically, if you try to kill your own baby as a mother, you do the sick, perverse act of killing your own child who you are supposed to protect with your life. Instead, you try to kill your own baby. You are legally allowed to do that now. So long as you even if you don't kill it inside of your womb, if it somehow manages to survive your murder attempt and comes out and is now an American citizen with rights to live and exist, that baby no longer has rights. So human beings who are born, that are breathing through their nose, through their mouth, who are not connected to their mother in any way, no longer are guaranteed a right to life. You're no longer in America guaranteed the right to live. You're no longer protected. It's no longer just a given that, if you're a living being that is conscious, that your life will be protected by the government. See, this is just a terrifying turn of events, and I think anyone can understand what the issue is here. We're living in scary times, and I said this, we're living in the end times because, it's just for over 1,000 years now, for 1,000 years, infanticide has been banned. For the past 1,000 years, if you commit infanticide, if you don't like your baby and you decide to kill it, you'd be put to death. But now, in 2023, modern America, the ancient, brutal practice of killing children, which you do not like, it's back. So Christians, they always compare abortion to sacrifices to Molech. So for those of you that don't know, in biblical times, prior to the New Testament, back in the early Iron Age, it was a practice in the nation now known as Israel that people would burn their babies alive as a sacrifice to this god named Molech. And they would kill their babies that they did not like and they didn't want to be born. And they would kill them and sacrifice them to this false god as an offering to get better babies, I guess. And essentially, so Christians, right, they would always compare abortion to this Molech worship, to this Baal worship. But this is even a better comparison. You thought abortion was bad. Now we're just going to start killing babies in the crib. Just straight up killing babies. So essentially now, if you are a Satanist or some kind of, you're a part of some false religion and you want to sacrifice your baby to some kind of demon, all you have to do is just say that you wanted to get an abortion but couldn't, and you're now legally allowed to kill babies that come out of your womb. And not only that, but we already know that there are cults that kidnap children and rape kids to get them pregnant so that they can kill the babies and sacrifice them. And they used to have to do this in the shadows. They're doing this in the shadows right now. But in Minnesota, you can just do that in broad daylight now. It's totally protected by the law. And I'm sure that if any kind of upstanding patriot, any upstanding Christian American tries to go there and prevent them from doing that, they will be killed by the government. These are the times that we're living in, where it's legal to literally murder babies. Not fetuses, babies. So this is where we're at in America. And now you might think, that's just Minnesota. That's just the kooks at Minnesota. And the bill hasn't been passed yet. All right, it's gotten through the legislature. It hasn't gone to the executive branch yet. So it won't get passed. It won't get passed. It's just one, some crazies up in like the northwest, the Midwest, But it's not just some crazies in the Midwest. It's everyone, everywhere. This story comes out of New Mexico. New Mexico mother, 19, admits to tossing newborn in hospital trash can. A New Mexico teenager admitted to giving birth in a hospital bathroom and hiding the baby inside a trash can where it was found later dead. Recently released police body camera footage shows. Alexi Treviso, 19, was charged last week with first-degree murder, or alternatively abusing a child resulting in death, and tampering with evidence after secretly delivering her baby at Artesia General Hospital on January 27th. She says, "I'm sorry it came out of me and I didn't know what to do." It came out of me and I didn't know what to do. So throw it in a trash can. You give birth to a baby, logical response, throw it in the trash. That's the logical response. I was scared, Treviso said, telling the nurse it was not crying or nothing. "What did you do to it?" her mother demanded, growing visibly angry. Oh my gosh. Man, oh man. She put the baby in a trash can and then another clean liner over the top of it. The baby is dead. She killed the kid. She had it in the bathroom is what happened. And then whatever she did, I don't know. She's going to lie. She wouldn't tell us she's pregnant. She's been lying the whole time. And you might think, okay, this is just, 2 stories. Can it get any worse? Well, it actually can get worse. Because people aren't just, trying to legalize killing babies. They aren't just killing babies, but they're also just, normal, regular people are supporting these people killing babies. We have Alma on Twitter at Glum Mirror Everybody loves pathologizing and making excuses for the evil acts of men, but when it comes to a young girl who got pregnant and had no access to free/legal abortion, you call it a day at she had enough responsibility to spread her legs but not enough to care for the child. I don't care if abortion is legal in New Mexico. Pregnancy and birth are traumatizing. Her mental situation is unknown. Her family dynamics and history are unknown. We don't know the circumstances of conception, her hormonal state, or if she suffers from PPP or PPD, which can manifest while pregnant. So people just say, try to make excuses for a literal murder. Oh, poor thing. She gave birth to a child and she killed it. Can you blame her? I mean, birth is traumatizing. Birth is traumatizing. The natural function of the human body after it has sex, if you're a woman, that natural function is traumatizing, apparently. That's like saying peeing is traumatizing. That's like saying taking a shit is traumatizing. It's the natural function of the human body. It traumatized me. We're living in evil times, man. See, I've been talking about this for a while. I've been telling you guys that we're rapidly moving into a time when the average person will not be disgusted by murder, where the average person will not be disgusted by rape, where the average person will not be disgusted by pedophilia. It'll just be chill to them. They'll just be okay with murder, cannibalism, kill your baby and eat your own baby. It's not that bad. Come on, man. Live and let live. It's none of your business what they do with their family. Some guy rapes a kid. Well, how do you know she didn't consent? You don't believe me? I've presented you the proof. I've presented you the proof. And this isn't the first time I've presented you proof of my predictions of the future. This is not the first time. I've shown you how people are okay with pedophilia. I'm now showing you that people are okay with killing babies, like literally just killing them. Not like abortion, like just actually killing them. People are just chill. And every Christian, every AFer, every Groiper is just sitting around joking, making gay jokes, making jokes about watching gay porn. While it's like, dude, they're literally fucking killing babies. The average person is like fine with murder of infants. Gee whiz, man. And listen, something else to consider though is this isn't just the natural move of society. You know, there's people like Donald Trump, who seems to right now be the only viable candidate that there is for conservative Christians. You know, Kanye's going off the rails, being a total coomer, sex freak, little sex demon. Maybe he's been replaced with a clone even. Like, I made a post about this. I made a post about this, but he might even be replaced by a clone. Like, look at this guy, man. What the fuck is going on here? And look at his wife, bro. What? Yeah, and he's making her wear a niqab. Meanwhile, her whole, like, boobies are out. So we got Trump. He's the only, viable candidate who can maybe stop any of this. And he's not even like actually against it. He's not even actually against it. He thinks that like abortion is fine and that we shouldn't fight back against abortion because it's bad for votes. But why is it that the average voter likes abortion, loves baby murder, loves infanticide? This isn't natural. See, Trump is convinced that this is like just the natural turn of events. People are convinced that it's just like people just love abortion. We just love abortion. But like, people don't realize that this is not natural. Like people are not natural. When I say that, I don't mean like that. I mean, obviously, right, it's unnatural to kill babies, right? But that's not what I mean. I don't mean it like that, right? Obviously, it's unnatural to kill a baby. It's literally the inverse. Like, our bodies are naturally, through the processes of either design or evolution, are supposed to create life, right? And so to kill a baby is to go against nature. But when I say nature, I'm talking about like the natural thought processes that most people would be going through would not lead them to think abortion's okay. If people were just left alone and weren't exposed to like the media, people would not be coming to the conclusion that infanticide is okay. This is a belief that's being forced on people by the government. The government is setting up these false flag events. They're putting this messaging in all of the entertainment and all of the news and all of the facts, inserting these false claims into there to push people into certain directions. Here we have another example of that. Man accused of ramming U-Haul into barriers near White House praised Hitler after his arrest, court hearings say. So there was this guy, and he ran this empty U-Haul truck into the White House. There's supposedly this huge terrorist attack. We love this ad. We love ads. So there's supposedly this huge terrorist attack that happened on the White House, and there was this horrible white supremacist who was driving the vehicle, and he loved Hitler, and so he drives his U-Haul here. You can see it. He's driving it into the barrier here, and then they take this photo up where he has like a Nazi flag. Look at the white supremacist. Look at this white supremacist here. This looks like a white supremacist, doesn't it? Totally empty vehicle. Totally empty. All right, we skip a little bit forward. Let's skip a little bit forward. You guys got to see this. Hold on, where is it? See, the only thing inside of the U-Haul is a Nazi flag. So this guy rented a U-Haul, and the only thing that he put in the U-Haul was a Nazi flag. You for real? Are you for real? This Mexican rented a U-Haul truck, bought a Nazi flag, praised Hitler, and tried to kill Biden in the name of white supremacy. Really? Really? You guys believe this? You guys really believe that? I don't think this is real. I think this is fake. So, I don't know. So clearly what we have here is we have a staged terrorist attack being done by the FBI, the CIA, who knows who's doing it. But this is clearly a media photo op to try... Oh, it's an Arab? Yeah, it's an Arab! Okay, it's an Arab. I didn't realize it was a... Maybe I'm racist. Okay, I might be racist, guys. But this is obviously a media photo op to try and smear the people who would be fighting back against infanticide, which would be white people and Christians and patriots. And they're trying to slander them as these horrible terrorists. Meanwhile, they can't even get a white person to, like, actually carry out the crime. But, you know, this is not all black pills. Over in France, people are fighting back. Now, I don't approve of violence, okay? I don't approve of protesting. I personally don't think that, you know, doing something like storming BlackRock's offices is going to, you know, produce any positive change. But so, for those of you that don't know, BlackRock is a company that is a part of the World Economic Forum's Great Reset plan. For those of you that don't know what the Great Reset is and what the World Economic Forum is, the World Economic Forum is a conglomerate of the world's largest corporations, from Walmart to Amazon to Google to everything in between. Every major corporation that you can think of, Alibaba, Halliburton, all these different corporations have united together into a group called the World Economic Forum. And the World Economic Forum is essentially a lobbying group that lobbies politicians to pass laws which are favorable to their goals. What are their goals? Well, their goals can be summarized by the statement, the phrase that you've probably heard about before: you will own nothing and be happy. So if you go to their website, they have this initiative, which is their plan. It's the 2030 initiative, the Great Reset initiative, where basically they want to create an economy where people do not own property and they do not own products. Instead of buying food and instead of buying clothes, everything is a rented service. So instead of having a car that you own, that's yours, you rent a car or you rent an Uber, right? You take public transit. Instead of owning a house, you rent a house. Instead of owning appliances, if you need appliances, you rent the appliances. So basically, they want to reshape the economy into this economy where nobody owns anything. And instead, these major corporations like Amazon, like Uber, like whatever, they own all the major resources, and you work and then rent these resources as a service. Let me take a sip and we'll get into how BlackRock plays into this. So, how does BlackRock play into this whole Great Reset initiative? So, BlackRock is a company that is in the real estate business. So they're into buying and selling houses, buying and selling homes. And so what BlackRock does is they go to these communities where the property is like way overpriced, where your average American can't afford to buy a house, right? Like, one of my friends was just talking to me today how they have like this small like townhouse, 2-story house, like half an acre of property, and that house is worth like $650,000 in New Jersey. My grandparents' house, it's not like a mansion. I think it's just a 2-story house with a garage. It was something like almost $1 million when we sold it, and my grandparents bought it at like $10K, right? So the real estate market is just inflating out of control, right? So what BlackRock is doing is they're this major corporation. So they have like millions upon millions upon millions, billions of dollars in their bank account. So what they do is they go around and they buy up all these houses that the average American is not able to buy. And then what they do is, rather than reselling it for like a greater profit or something, is they rent it out. So they won't even, so basically what this corporation is doing is they're trying to buy up every single property in America so that they have a monopoly on real estate. No one is able to buy a house. If anyone wants a house, they have to rent it, and they can't just rent it from whoever. They have to rent it from them, which means that this corporation will always have a stable income because every house in America is owned by them, and every American, if they want to have shelter, has to rent a house from them. Now, this plays into the whole Great Reset agenda, and I think it's very clear, because what is the agenda of the whole Great Reset thing? It's the idea that the average American, the average Westerner, will own nothing. Everything that they have will be a rented service, including their housing. Their housing even is going to be a rented service. So you won't even own your own house. You have to rent your house from BlackRock. And you know, so this is a whole part of this whole Great Reset initiative. But the people in Paris, the people in France, they are fighting back against the regime. And thank you, Young Lean Feet Blady, for the $2 super chat. Big shout out. So protesters stormed BlackRock Paris's office, holding red flares and firing smoke bombs. Demonstrators forced their way into the building that houses BlackRock's office in Paris Thursday, taking their protest against the governor's pension reforms to the world's biggest money manager. Videos shared on social media showed protesters entering the senatorial office located near the Opera Garnier Opera House, holding red flares and firing smoke bombs. You know, and so obviously, you know, they're trying to slander these people as being evil and all this. And they're trying to change their message into being just about pensions and stuff. But people are throughout the world starting to fight back against this New World Order regime. And again, I'm not advocating violence. I'm not saying that anyone watching me should go out here and do these riots. If you want to fight back against the regime, spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. They're probably going to be called insurrectionists, yeah. But I think it is a white pill that, you know, we even see it in Ireland. There's been a lot of protests in Ireland and Italy and in France, the European countries, against the, you know, change that's being forced upon them. So I think that this is just a massive white pill. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? I don't know. I guess we'll do some call-ins later and we might talk about it. Send in your super chats. We need some more super berries. I need to make $100 by the end of this month so I can afford to feed my kittens that I adopted. By the way, I found a third one. I'll be doing a stream with that one soon. But in America, the regime is trying to sedate the American people because, as we know from history, the American people is very rowdy, if you will. And when something that they don't like starts to happen, they tend to get violent. So the regime is now trying to sedate the American people. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis launches 2024 presidential bid on Twitter with Elon Musk. After technical glitches delayed the start by 25 minutes, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Wednesday announced on Twitter's audio platform that he's entering the Republican presidential primary, setting up a clash with the current GOP frontrunner, former President Donald Trump. I am running for president of the United States to lead our great American comeback, he said during an event with Twitter owner Elon Musk and tech investor David Sachs. By now, we know our country is going in the wrong direction, but we see it with our own eyes and feel it with our bones. My pledge to you is this: if you nominate me, you can set your clock to January 20th, 2025 at high noon on the west side of the U.S. Capitol. I will be taking the oath of office as the 47th President of the United States. No excuses. I will get the job done. There is no substitute for victory. So, Ron DeSantis is now running for president against Trump. I am not a cat lady, Pavlik Kovacevic. Go screw yourself. I'm a cat man. But anyway, so Ron DeSantis, he's running for president in 2024. And this is like the worst thing ever. So Ron DeSantis decided to announce his campaign on a Twitter space with Elon Musk there. And a lot of people are thinking that Elon Musk is going to be Ron DeSantis's pick as vice president. Now, in a way, I think that that's kind of based. Like, I would love to see like a Musk Trump presidency, or like a Musk yay presidency or something like that. That would be awesome. But instead, we're getting probably like a Musk DeSantis presidency. And this is just, it's awful. Now, to begin with, right, just the announcement speech in and of itself, not even talking about like who Ron DeSantis is and why I think he's a bad candidate, like just the announcement speech itself. They tried to do it on Elon Musk's Twitter, and they literally couldn't do it because Elon Musk got like 10 million people watching or something like that. So they had to cut the stream and stream on the smallest creator's account they could find so that no one would watch it. And he does this announcement without his face, and it's like the most low energy stuff you've ever heard of, man. The most low energy shit you've ever seen. I was like spam posting about this DeSantis announcement on my YouTube and on my Twitter. I said, this DeSantis announcement makes you want a KMS. Low energy. Then he said, like, later, we the people own the government. And it's like, so DeSantis is like one of these libertarians. He's like really big into his constitution. We have to reconstitutionalize the government. Then he said this line: I pledge to be an energetic executive. And it's like, dude, if you listen to that space, man, if you listen to that space, it was so bad, man. It was like the worst. I was falling asleep, man. You know, people talk about Sleepy Joe. What about Sleepy Ron? Like, bruh. But lots of people, especially like Christians that don't like Christian nationalism, they're like really pro DeSantis for some reason. And like, in some ways, I can understand why they're pro DeSantis. From what I understand, DeSantis is one of the is like explicitly like openly Christian. So like he openly like professes that he's a Christian. And like he's a nice guy, he doesn't say anything that bad. And he's passed these anti-gay, anti-gender ideology laws. So like there's some stuff that you can like get behind DeSantis on, right? And when you look at Trump, who's basically the only alternative to DeSantis right now. He's the only good candidate other than DeSantis. Trump is very rough around the edges. And not only that, but he kind of like is iffy on the abortion question. He's actually like pro-abortion so long as it gets him votes, like I talked about earlier. And he's iffy on the gay stuff, like he's kind of pro-gay. And there's a lot of problems with Trump, right? Which is why I was getting so much behind Ye, because while we now see Ye is not a great candidate, when Ye started running, a lot of what he was saying was based because he was like hardcore anti-pornography. He was, anti-foreign influence. Basically the only thing that Trump has going for him that like DeSantis doesn't is that Trump wants to reconstitute the what do you call it? The shadow government. Basically, he wants to fire all of these unelected officials in places like the FBI and places like the CIA and throughout the government and replace them with MAGA patriots, which is awesome. And that's something DeSantis isn't doing. But on a surface level, if you're not really well informed on who DeSantis is, DeSantis seems like he's the obvious pick, right? Other than he's like boring, but I mean, like if you read the news and what the news has to say about him, he seems like he's like the greatest candidate ever. But let's just look at his wins, for example. One of the biggest wins that DeSantis has under his belt is this "Don't Say Gay" bill. Right, so as we all know, there's this big gender ideology thing. I can't really say what it actually is, but there's this whole thing going on in a lot of schools right now where they're basically pushing kids to mutilate their genitalia, right? They're pushing kids to do sexually explicit acts in school. And they're showing kids sexually explicit material. And so DeSantis is one of the few governors that's taken a stand against this to try and ban it. But when we look at this win, all that he actually did is he didn't actually ban gender ideology. He didn't actually ban it. All he did is he banned it from being shown to first graders and second graders. And while yeah, I'm happy that first graders and second graders aren't being exposed to sexual stuff, the fact is that those aren't really the people being targeted by gender ideology. The people being targeted by gender ideology are late middle school and high school students. Those are the people that are most affected by gender ideology because they're starting to go through puberty. And then, when you have someone who's starting to go through puberty and you expose them to sexually explicit, sexually perverted material, that will make them become sexually perverted, right? It will make them become a deviant. So, yeah, I guess it's a win, but he didn't really do anything because that's not even who they're targeting. The people who he prevented from seeing this stuff isn't even the group which is most affected by this gender ideology stuff. And again, forgive me for using these like cringe terms like gender ideology, but as you know, I got a community guideline strike for telling the truth about gender ideology. So, you had to bear with me. So the one win that he has isn't even really a win. It's a fake win. It's just basically it's just pro DeSantis propaganda. It's not even like something tangible. And then we look at DeSantis himself, and we just look up DeSantis. Now I'm gonna have to be careful with my words here, but why is DeSantis signing anti-hate speech bills in a foreign nation? Why is a state-level politician being supported by a foreign country? Why is a state-level politician being backed by a foreign entity? Listen, I can't really get into that deep about this, but let me put it to you this way. If DeSantis was taking trips to Russia and passing anti-Russian hate speech bills where he makes it illegal for you to say things bad about Russians, people would be all over this, talking about how horrible this guy is and how he has to go. But the particular nation that DeSantis is visiting, in reality, if you point out that this is a little bit shady, you're called a bigot, you're called a racist. So again, we can't really get that deep into, you know, the nature of what's going on with DeSantis. So, but, you know, many people criticize me for my support of Trump because Trump is very shaky on the issues. He failed us in his first term. But listen, Trump is the best we have. Ye has totally failed us, to be quite honest. He's stabbed us in the back. He's wasted our time for the past 6 months. He hasn't done anything. Maybe things will turn around. Who knows? I find it unlikely. We're getting real close to the actual election now. So, you know, Trump's the only viable candidate right now. And he's the... Yo, thank you for the super chat. Florida is more rich than some EU countries. I mean, I guess that's nice, but we have to think about... Right, DeSantis may or may not have done good things, but we have to think about the nature of the situation that we're in right now. Right now, the situation that we're in is that our government is controlled by a foreign entity. That foreign entity is the same entity that DeSantis is buddy-buddy with. And that foreign entity is pushing anti-Christian, satanic policies onto the American people. Okay? And so, this anti-Christian, satanic, subversive group is now propping up this Christian nationalist, pro-Christian, pro-patriot leader who's low energy and hasn't actually really done anything for his country, really. He hasn't done anything that great, anything that spectacular. So this foreign entity, which is already in control, is propping up this leader who basically is relying upon them for power, right? DeSantis isn't a millionaire. DeSantis has to rely on these people donating to his campaign for his campaign to succeed. And they're propping him up against Donald Trump. How does Donald Trump differ from DeSantis? Because Trump supports the same foreign entities that DeSantis does. But the difference is that, unlike DeSantis, Trump is a self-made man who does not need to rely on the donations of foreign entities in order to make his campaign function. He's a millionaire. He doesn't need these foreign nations to help him. So he can't be held back. And in addition to this, the things that DeSantis plans to do and the things which Trump planned to do are very different. In fact, a lot of what DeSantis plans to do is exactly the same as what Trump plans to do. DeSantis wants to stop illegal immigration. DeSantis wants to, limit spending. That's things that Trump wants to do. But one thing that Trump wants to do that DeSantis is not doing is Trump wants to fire the unelected officials, the unelected officials that run the government in these positions of power that you're not aware of, like in the FBI and the CIA and in the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, so on and so forth. Fire these unelected positions and fill them in with MAGA patriots. And this is so important, and it's such an important distinction, because what the reason why our country is down in the drain is not really because the elected officials suck, although that is why. That's a part of why it sucks. But the reason why these elected officials suck is because on the teams of these elected officials and working everywhere throughout the government, there are these unelected officials. And these unelected officials is what Alex Jones and many politicians refer to as the deep state, the shadow government, right? The deep state is this collection of unelected officials, which, you know, are in these managerial roles in between the government and the people. So there's the government and the people. The government makes a law and then it gets enforced on the people. But the people enforcing the laws is the deep state. And the deep state gets to choose how these laws get enforced on the people. And the deep state is where all of these satanic subversives are. Not to say that there aren't Satanists at the very top, but there's far more that are just straight up like killing babies and stuff on this intermediary level. And Trump wants to get rid of that. And the reason why the regime is doing everything they can to fight against Trump is because that has been Trump's plan from the beginning, essentially. That's been the thing that he's been running on since 2016, is drain the swamp. And since there's no better alternative to Trump, I have to support Trump for right now. Now, if someone comes along who's going to actually do it better and who's viable, I'll support them. But till then, it's Trump 2024. So, I don't know. Trump 2025, Trump 2026, Trump 2028, Trump 2029, Trump 2025, Trump forever. Emperor Trump. Can we get an Emperor Trump moment? I would love an Emperor Trump. So I'm going to be getting into the call-ins. Let me invite you guys. So, let me send the invite link right here in the chat right now. So if you guys check the chat right now, I'm sending the invite link to my Discord. You guys join my Discord, go to the call-ins chat, join that chat, and I'll drag you in, and you can give your thoughts on the stories that are happening right now. But in addition to that, if you'd like to support the stream, if you'd like to provide financial support, because as you guys know, I'm pretty much doing this full time. I'm focusing on trying to get this content out here. And I'm also saying controversial things that might eventually prevent me from, you know, getting a job outside of this stuff. So if you'd like to support the channel and support the things that I'm doing, go to URFRIENDLYHOOD.com/shop. So if you go to URFRIENDLYHOOD.com/shop, you can buy Your Friendly Hood merch. So I have these new releases right here. I have this Christ is King hat. It comes in multiple colors. It comes in camo. It comes in black. It comes in, you know, navy blue. It comes in red. So if you guys want a Christ is King hat, again, it comes in a plethora of different colors. It even comes in pink if you're a woman and you'd like to rep for Jesus Christ. I also have some Christ is King shirts that are awesome. I have this black one with John 8:36 on it. I also have this cool tie-dye one that comes in multiple different tie-dye colors, and it's embroidered onto the shirt. So, you know, it's really awesome. And I also have these cool stickers that I thought were funny. So, when the moment, #when, Stu Peters on lean stickers. So if you guys want to buy these cool things, I also have this cool shirt of me If you want to support the channel, rep for the channel, go buy that stuff. It's all pretty cheap. Use, I believe it is Spring02. If you use the code Spring02, I believe, that will give you a buy two get one free on every new release on the store until the end of spring and the beginning of summer. So if you use Spring02, I believe that is the code, Spring02, you'll be able to get buy two get one free. All right, so we're getting our first caller here, Jonathan Azell. Jonathan Azell, you are live on Your Friendly Hood's Untitled show. What's popping?
I'm doing well today. You know, it's a beautiful day here in Michigan. A beautiful day that God has made once again.
Awesome. So, what do you think about, these horrible things going on? We have infanticide being legalized, not just being legalized, being supported. The government's trying to silence all dissent against infanticide and running these like fake-based candidates like Ron DeSantis. What do you think about the situation in America?
Well, for one thing, it comes down to sin. Remember, we have a sin-cursed earth, and men are sinful. The very imagination of men is evil continually.
Real.
Just like in Noah, in the days of Noah, they were, sacrificing babies, killing babies, being gay, pedophiles everywhere. It was just a terrible time, and that's what it feels here right now. It feels like
the times of Noah, like the times of Noah. And that's what it says in the Bible. It says the end times will be like the times of Noah, doesn't it?
Yep. Of course, the Christians are going to be raptured up.
Red-pilled.
Which I cannot wait for the rapture. I mean, who doesn't want to see Jesus? See my creator,
Real.
Yeah. The woman who, threw her baby in the trash can, she knew what she was doing. I mean, the Bible says a child knows by its doings, Even a child knows by its doings. So, plus, it takes two to make a baby. Like the woman, they're saying, oh, the man got her pregnant. It takes two, you idiot. The woman did it as well. They're both responsible.
Yeah, people really are holding women on a pedestal, and it's not just these liberals, it's Christians too. And it's gotta stop. Stop simping.
Yeah, we need to stop simping for women. I mean,
e-girls.
We need to stop, worshiping women. We need to stop worshiping black people as well. Oh, I mean, we're humans, and the only one who should be who we should be worshiping is Jesus.
So true. God. And that's the real solution to all the sick stuff going on in our society is Jesus Christ. Alright, I'm going to try and get some more people on here. I saw Big Nick was just waiting in there, but I guess he left. But have a good night, man.
Good night, my guy.
So we're doing call-ins right now. If you guys want to call into the show, it's it's pinned right now in the live chat. If you click the pinned link, you can call into the show. You just joined a waiting for call-ins chat, and I will drag you in to talk and broadcast your opinions on all the stories here. We've been talking about how Infanticide, literal just infanticide, like killing babies, like straight up just like baby murder has been legalized in Minnesota. We have like a teenager that just literally threw her baby in the garbage. So, you know, it's like we're living in some dark times, So if you guys want to give your opinions, give your solutions or whatever, call into the show. Got some real... Big Nick was supposed to call in and he left, man. What's happening? What's happening? Can we get Big Nicked in here? Big Nicked? I want to get Big Nicked. Big Nick. Join. I want to hear what he had to say. So I guess we're just waiting for some based callers. Bruh. Can't believe this. I can't believe this. He's forsaken us. Not a single person's gonna call in. I mean, okay, man. I guess if we're not doing it. Well, I'll give you guys a little bit. I'll set a little timer. We'll set a little 5-minute timer. Set a little 5-minute timer. Yo, we just got a super chat from Sud. Thank you for the $10. He says, thanks for the good content, brother. Hashtag stop simping for Satan. Lee Hako says, good night, John. Great commentary. Good night, John. Oh, John. Okay. Based. Red pilled. Yeah, we love Jonathan Azell. Real. So true. Lee Hako, you got to get right on the whole Trinity, man. You got to get right, man. Jesus is God. It's very clear in the Bible. Jesus is God, man. Everyone pray for Lee Hako. Straight denying the Trinity. We got to pray for this guy. But, anyways, it looks like we're not getting any call-ins other than Jonathan Azell. My most loyal soldier, by the way, Jonathan Azell. Real Nibba. Follow him on Twitter. He's straight up, I think he's just Jonathan Azell on Twitter. Let me see. Yeah, it's just Jonathan, what is it? Oh, no, it's not. It's the Baseman. The Baseman 1. He's a based man, so he's the Baseman 1. So it looks like we're not getting any more callers, so I'm going to wrap up this stream here. So I guess the takeaway from all of this is that we're really getting into some dark times. You know, for a while now, we've been able to like live in la la land because things aren't really that bad. I mean, sure, the economy's trash and like I spend a 20 to fill up my Honda Civic and it only fills it up like a quarter of the way anymore. You know, but it's like things aren't that bad. You know, things are going okay-ish. But we're getting to a point now where we can't just like sit around and we can't just stick our head in the sand and pretend nothing's going on. They're killing babies. Literal infanticide is normalized. Literal infanticide is normalized. So we gotta start pushing the gospel, pushing the message of Jesus Christ. That's the only thing that can change things around. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for watching. Talk to you guys next time. Have a good night.